today's talk, we're going to talk about learning how to compete in the marketplace, okay? How to compete. So when I got into the business, first day in my business, I was picking up the phone. There was no headsets, no auto dialers. It was just picking up the phone, okay, and making a lot of calls. Now, there was two sources of people that I was calling. I had a pretty big center of influence, okay? So those were the first calls that I was making. And then the second source of calls that I was doing was expired listings, okay? And I learned early on, very quickly, okay, that my center of influence was going to be fairly loyal to buying and selling with me, right? Fairly, not 100%, okay? And it was going to be easy to get business from them, right? The expired listing, that was a whole different animal. It was a whole different line of business. They were tough, the expired listings, expired sellers. They were aggressive. They'd hang up on you. You know, you had 20, 30, 40 other agents calling them, right? And when I would go out on the appointment, you know, and knock on that door, one agent would be coming out while I was coming in. And when I was leaving, another agent was knocking on the door, okay? It was a competitive environment back in those days as it is today. So let me tell you something. I did that for 10 plus years working the expired listings, okay? Working my center of influence didn't make me great in this business. Working expires, working for sale by owners, converting sign calls, right? With buyers working with other agents, okay? That's what made me great in this business, okay? Having to compete in the marketplace made me great. Having to compete. See, when I was working the SOI, I wasn't competing, right? Do you know how many appointments that I went on that I was turned down by the seller? A lot. A lot of appointments turned down. Or so many sellers where I'd have Elizabeth call and find out why they didn't list with me. And let me tell you, that was really it was a very painful process, right? To think that they listed with a competitor. That was painful. Going into an appointment knowing there was 3, 5, 8 other agents in the marketplace that I was competing with. And let me tell you, I was competing against the best of the best back then. You know, Rick Brenkus, Ed House, some of the great agents of our marketplace, some of the great listing agents of our time is who I had to compete with, right? And to know that they were listing the properties and I wasn't, and I was going into that interview. That was painful. It was tough. Just thinking about another agent walking out with that listing. Think about it. You go on the appointment and somebody else takes that listing, and you know when they got signatures and they walked out, right? You know, they're just smiling away knowing that you were there and they got that contract signed. That's tough. It's a tough pill to swallow, okay? This no longer was about money at that time. It wasn't about the money. It wasn't about the commission, okay? This was about competing in the marketplace, right? And knowing your competitors are beating you, you know, that didn't work for me. So my prospecting had to become better, okay? Qualifying for motivation, I had to become better. My listing presentation had to be powerful, right? My market stats, my market knowledge had to be on point, always at all times, okay? See, competition pushed me to the next level. When I had to compete, it pushed me to the next level. My competitors, my competition pushed me to the next level. A desire to win pushed me to the next level. Does this make sense?
Yes.
Think about it, okay? See, leaving the home with a listing contract and calling 2, 3, 4 other agents and saying, hey, this is Juan with Century 21. Just want to know, you know that I listed this property and the seller said that you did a great job, but they decided to go with me. And for any reason you have a buyer for this home, we are cooperating with other agents, so you're more than welcome to bring the buyer. See, that's a great feeling to make that type of call. Who has made that type of call? Nestor, I know that you have. Okay? It's a great feeling when you're competing in the marketplace and you're winning. Okay? How about sign calls? You know, 80% of those buyers that are calling on those signs are already working with other agents, right?
Oh, yeah.
When you're converting them and you're taking them, okay, because in many cases they're ready to buy, in many cases they're already approved, in many cases they just want to buy a home and their agent isn't servicing them, right? And you're there. So when they tell you they already work with another agent, do you hang up or do you spend the time making it about them and answering their questions and converting them and winning that buyer to work with you? It is a good feeling when that happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or am I being too aggressive?
No.
That's what the competition made me do, is become more aggressive and stronger and better, you know, at listing and converting buyers, right? You know, we sold 225 buyers in 2011. It wasn't because they were all my center of influence and past clients. It's because they were calling and we were calling them, they were calling us, and we were converting everything that was coming through. The only issue when it comes to buyers calling on signs is in many cases their agent is missing in action. They're MIA, right? Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong with converting these buyers, okay? So you convert them, you present to them, you help them buy. It's a great feeling. You're helping a family purchase a home, okay? Competition will make you better. And then friendly competition in the office will make you stronger. There is nothing wrong with the competition that goes on in here. I hear it all the time. Hey, somebody else went on the appointment. Great, give a better presentation. It's okay, right? Because if somebody takes a listing from Ace or somebody takes a listing from Nestor here in the company, it's only going to make Ace and Nestor better at what they do. That's what competition does. So don't be complacent with your center of influence. Don't be complacent with your past clients. Don't be complacent with marketing. Don't be complacent with advertising. Typically, when they're calling you off of a marketing call that you have, a marketing piece that you have, you know, or you're putting marketing pieces out on doors, and you're the only call and you're the only one presenting, you're not competing. Okay? In many cases, that we have a lot of folks cold calling. Cold calling, you get a seller that wants a list. In many cases, you're not competing. So that's not a competitive style. You can be aggressive by making the calls, but put yourself in a position where you are competing against other agents. It definitely will make you better. Don't get complacent with advertising and those type of calls that come in, okay? So push yourself to compete in the marketplace, okay? Don't stop learning. Don't give up. Keep pressing and keep pushing and keep moving forward, because that's what we do here, okay? You can do this. We support you 100%. Your broker supports you. Let's make this happen. Be competitive in the marketplace and take every buyer and seller in the market for yourselves. I give you permission. Let's do this. All right.